Thanks for tuning into the 6Three podcast. I'm your host, Joel, my co-host, Ben. We are on to 2005 for the MLB redrafts, and it's a rough year for pitching. You know, we've had Ben last week take a pitcher first overall for the first time in all of our MLB redrafts.
Yep.
Obviously, Justin Verlander is ahead of his time, so that adds up. But the only other pitchers that have been taken even in the top 7 in previous ones was Johan Santana, 5th, Mariano Rivera, 6th, Mike Mussina, Roy Halladay, Roy Oswalt, and Kenley Jansen, 7th in their respective classes. So we usually are pretty top heavy with hitting because why not? We got to score runs in these single elimination playoff games. So
Sure.
I've got first pick in 2005, and I wouldn't say it's any kind of obvious in this pick. But I am going to go with Ryan Braun first. Play left fielder, third base, hit 296 in his career, 352 homers, 1,154 RBIs, 216 stolen bases, almost 2,000 hits. He was an MVP, a Rookie of the Year. He had 6 All-Star games, 5 Silver Sluggers, and over a 47 WAR.
I like it. He might have taken steroids, but that's all right. We don't care. It's one game. We don't care.
Who cares?
Okay. Could go a couple different directions here. I'm gonna go with Troy Tulowitzki here for my first pick. Shortstop, 5-time All-Star, 2-time Gold Glove, 2-time Silver Slugger, 44.5 WAR, over 1,300 hits, 225 homers, hit 290. Dealt with some injuries late in his career, but was great for Colorado for a while. Had a cannon. Was one of the better shortstops in the league for probably a 5-year stretch. I wouldn't stretch it too much longer than that, but was really, really good.
I mean, he had 5 All-Star games. I think they were all kind of in the same 6 or 7 year span.
From 2010 to 2015, he was an all. I mean, he moved around a little bit. He was an All-Star because he got traded in 2015 to Toronto at the deadline, but he was an All-Star for 5 of those seasons. Into basically, he was an All-Star in 2010, 2011, was not in 12, and then was an All-Star in 13, 14, and 15. So pretty good.
Did he have a platinum glove too as well?
He did not, from what I
know he had 2 gold gloves, but
yep, just a couple gold gloves. Yep. But was really good at a position that at the time, I mean, there were a lot of really good shortstops coming through. So really good player.
I'll take center fielder Andrew McCutchen here. Is my second one. 277 career hitter, 287 homers, 1,002 RBIs, 205 stolen bases, 1,950 hits. He was an MVP, 5 All-Star games, Gold Glove, 4 Silver Sluggers, and a 47 WAR. Basically the same WAR as Ryan Braun. Obviously played a little bit longer, and I think still played into this year. Still plays this year. So
still played this year.
Yep.
I'll go with Jacoby Ellsbury here. I'll put a center fielder now. 31.2 WAR, just under 1,400 hits, 104 home runs, so a little bit of pop. 284 hitter. Was an All-Star. Won 2 World Series. Won a Gold Glove. Led the league in triples in 2009 with 10. 343 stolen bases. Had 70 in 2009. 50 in 08. 52 in 2013. Another guy only played 11 years. Really just dealt with injuries. If he'd played a little bit longer, we would have been talking about an even crazier career. Played for Boston and New York, which is interesting. But just kind of dealt with injuries. Played kind of a reckless style, and it kind of caught up with him because he hurt himself. So
made excellent plays in the process, though.
He did. He was very good. He was fun to watch. When healthy, very fun to watch.
I think I'm going to take Ryan Zimmerman here next. And as of now, I'll put him at first base because now I have Ryan Braun at third, but I could move Braun to left and move Zimmerman back to the sweet spot at third. 277 career hitter, 284 homers, 1,061 RBIs, 43 stolen bases, 1,850 hits, 2 All-Stars, Gold Glove, 2 Silver Sluggers, and a 40+ WAR.
Okay. Take Michael Brantley here. 34.1 WAR, over 1,600 hits, 127 homers, 298 career hitter. Still playing right now and had a pretty good year in limited time. 5-time All-Star as recent as last year at age 34 with Houston. He's been getting better with age, seemingly. When healthy, he's one of the better left-handed hitters in the game. Great average guy. Not a ton of pop all the time, but drove in runs. Had a couple years with over 20 home runs, which is good, and 125 stolen bases. Most of those coming early in his career. He's got bad knees now, so that's not happening really anymore. He's not on the postseason roster for Houston because he's on the 60-day IL right now. So, but really good piece of that team, and deserving of an early pick. Had good years with Cleveland too.
Guys available. I'm going to take Justin Upton.
Okay.
Probably also play left field like Brantley. 261 career hitter, 325 home runs, 1,003 RBIs, 151 stolen bases, 1,750 hits, 4 All-Star games, 3 Silver Sluggers, and a 32.5 WAR. I believe his 325 home runs is the second most out of all the players in this class, only behind Ryan Braun. So,
yep. I'll take the guy with the third most, I believe. Jay Bruce.
Yep, Jay Bruce is third most. Yep.
19.9 WAR, 3-time All-Star, 2-time Silver Slugger, 319 home runs, over 1,400 hits, hit 244. Can play in the outfield and first base. Tentatively put him in at first.
Okay.
But we'll see. From the great town of Beaumont, Texas, Jay Bruce.
Yep. I remember when he came. Out guns a-blazing when he made his major league debut.
He had
probably one of the best stretches of debut. Like first couple months of being in the leagues, one of the best stretches I remember.
Yep, he had a lot of power. Never got to 40 home runs, but consistently high 20s, low to mid 30s.
Yep.
Kind of went out later in his career. He got traded to New York, and it just didn't work out. And he dealt with some injuries late in his career as well, but and wasn't a terrible outfielder and was a good first baseman overall. So definitely a power hitter that you like to have, and walked a good amount too.
All right, I will take shortstop Elvis Andrus. 270 hitter, 93 home runs, still working towards that 100, I guess. We'll see if he ever gets there.
He had a decent amount of homers this year.
Huh?
He had a decent amount of home runs this year.
Yeah, I think he had doubles, right? He had 11, 9, between 9 and 11.
He had, I'm just curious because
I thought I saw his name pop up.
He had 9. Times. He had 9. Okay. Well, no, he had 17 between Oakland and Chicago. He had 17.
Oh, okay. So I saw 9 with.
Yeah, he had 8 with Oakland and 9 with Chicago, and he only played 43 games with Chicago and hit 9.
That's probably almost a career high for him. Then he's only got 93 at this point.
That is the second most he ever hit. He had 20 in 2017.
Yeah, that was Texas still.
Yeah. Yep.
That was the year I think the Rangers had a crap ton of home runs.
Yes.
But,
that was
So 725 RBIs, 332 stolen bases, had some wheels, just shy of 2,000 career hits. So if he does play another year, he'll probably get that. 2 All-Star games and a 33 WAR.
Yeah, I like Elvis Andrus a lot. Obviously, like a little biased but he was awesome with Chicago this year. He was the only thing that was keeping him afloat for a while there. With Tim Anderson hurt, he actually played really, really well.
A lot of your midseason signings, like Johnny Cueto
was awesome. Yep. And that's stuff like that was working. Kept him afloat for a while with injuries and just poor play. But I'll take Carlos Santana here. Put him at catcher for now.
I like it. He hasn't been there in a while, but
no, but why not? We don't get to choose how old these guys are. 32.8 WAR.
This could be 26-year-old Carlos Santana.
Right, he was a great catcher.
Yeah.
32.8 WAR, over 1,500 hits, 278 home runs, hit 242 in his career so far. Walks a ton. Led the league in walks in 2014 with 113, over 100 the next year as well. He's been over 100 4 times and been just shy of 100 most of the time when he's been an everyday player. Strikes out a decent amount, but nothing crazy. His on-base percentage is routinely above 350.
Yep.
Multiple times close to 400, which is impressive. Really just a tough guy to get out because he doesn't chase. Just an annoying guy to pitch to. Hits as switch hitter. So overall, really good player. Hated him.
Yeah. Well, I even hated him in Kansas City. There's no really getting away from him in the AL Central.
I just didn't really like him. But I mean, I liked him as a player. I would have loved him on my team. But
yeah. It was like Maglio. I didn't like him with the White Sox, but the second he came over,
he's one of your favorite players.
It was great. Love him.
I know how it works.
I'm gonna move Justin Upton, I think, over to right field since he can play all of them, and I'll take Alex Gordon to play left field. Here, unless I move Ryan Braun to left field, and then keep Zimmerman at first and then Gordon at third, because Gordon was an incredible third baseman
before he got hurt. Yeah, before he started getting hurt.
I mean, Gordon had 8 Gold Gloves, so it's really hard to not put him in the corner. 257 hitter, 190 homers, 750 RBIs, 113 stolen bases, 1,650 hits, 3 All-Star games, 8 Gold Gloves, as I said, and a 34.5 WAR.
Yep. Let's see. Yeah, the position players are not terrible. They're deep in this class.
There's only one other player I still had in my top 12. So, I mean, yeah, if you take them, then all of them are at least in the correct top 12.
Yeah, it's just...
We'll see if you even need them, though. Oh, yeah, you could use.
Well, let me check one more thing. Man.
I feel like this one's between 2 players. This could go with...
I'll take Brett Gardner. I freaking hate
He was one of the two.
I hate Brett Gardner. I just don't think he's that good. But he played a long time, 14 years, and played last year. Played
very fast.
One-time All-Star, but 44.3 WAR. He's a good outfielder. Very, very good outfielder. Just under 1,500 hits, 139 homers, hit 256. I think he was a little overrated at times. That's why I don't really like him. But he played very hard. Not a ton of pop, but then suddenly hit 28 home runs in 2019. Is it the right field in Yankee Stadium? Is it something else?
I don't know. That neck got pretty thick.
The neck got a little thick. The forehead is massive. It is incredibly huge.
Yeah, it's the Peyton Manning of baseball.
Have you seen the forehead memes of him? I'll send you this.
They're probably similar to what Peyton Manning forehead memes.
It's pretty similar, but I'll send you this one real quick because I have it on the ready because it's so funny. Oh, they deleted it. Well, anyway, it's I don't know if you can see this, but it's a plane, and the caption was Brett Gardner landing in Houston tomorrow after Aaron Hicks went down.
That's good.
That is a good one. 44.3 WAR though. Really good outfielders. 274 stolen bases, so it can definitely run. Never hit for great average, but had some good years. All his entire career was at the Yankees. That might be the biggest reason why I didn't like him because I hate the Yankees. So overall, really good outfielder.
Perfectly valid.
Yeah.
Well, then I'm gonna round out my top 13 since you picked someone still in my top 14 then. Top 14. So Shin Soo Choo is my other option. I'm gonna DH him. 275 hitter, 218 homers, 782 RBIs, 157 stolen bases, 1,671 hits, All-Star game, and over 34.5 WAR. Not the most athletic fielder, but he had a strong arm when he got the ball. He was throwing people out, but he was a great fielder.
Yeah.
Strong arm.
Yep, definitely. I will take Marwin Gonzalez here.
Okay.
Mostly I'm going to put him at second base for now.
Okay.
14.3 WAR. It's under 900 hits. He's still playing. 107 homers, 252 hitter. He's had a tough year this year. He's played with – last year he played with 2 teams. he's bounced around a little bit. His best years were definitely with Houston or a little bit earlier in his career, but he provides positional flexibility. Hit for a little bit of pop here and there, drove in some runs, especially 2017 would probably be his best year with Houston, where he got playing time the whole year. He hit 303 and with 90 RBIs. So overall, really good player because he can play everywhere. So he's definitely valuable. And I think he's probably a better player when he gets to play all the time. He gets consistent at bats. So
it's frustrating. I was almost certain that Elvis Andrus could play any other position besides short. He cannot.
He's never played another position.
I see. Yeah, DH 25 times, pinch hit 21, pinch run 5, shortstop in 1914. No other position.
Yeah, because they were talking about if the White Sox found a way to make the postseason or we're right there close, they were talking about having to teach him how to play second base when Tim Anderson came back because they would play them both. So
cheapers. That stinks. So I can't move anything around. So I might just take a bench player early because I just think he's too good. I'm going to take Yunel Escobar.
Okay.
He plays short and third. Unfortunately, those positions are currently taken. 282 career hitter, though, 90 home runs, 520 RBIs, 34 stolen bases, over 1,500 career hits, and a 26.8 WAR.
There you go. Give me Clay Buchholz.
That's right. That was the next guy. That was my next guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
He threw a no-hitter.
He did. Yeah.
Always had really good stuff. Couldn't really ever put it together. He was a 2-time All-Star, though. 16.8 WAR, 90 and 69. He played on some good teams, especially early. 3.98 ERA. I liked watching him pitch early. His best year was 2010. He was 17-7 with a 2.33 with Boston. And then he was really good in 2013 with Boston. He was 12-1 with a 1.74. That was probably his actual best year, but he only pitched half the year. He got hurt. Overall, really promising pitcher early in his career and just kind of dealt with some injuries and just kind of fell apart a little bit later in his career. Had a pretty good year in 2018 as well, which was his second to last season. He was 7-2 with a 2.01, but again, didn't pitch as much because he was dealing with some injuries. So promising career that just didn't pan out, probably mostly due to some arm problems, but was really good for a while there.
Definitely the best pitcher in this class, I think. So,
So
all right, so I'll take my second baseman here. I'll take Jed Lowry.
Okay.
257 hitter, 121 homers, just shy of 600 RBIs, 8 stolen bases, just shy of 1,200 hits as well. He had an all-star game and about a 16 WAR.
Okay. Man, he had no power. That's disgusting. I'll take Steve Pearce here. Probably as a reserve guy for now. But we'll see. 9.9 WAR. Hit 254, 91 homers. Was a World Series MVP in 2008.
How about that? Yep.
Was crazy good for that. Pretty much that whole postseason. 572 hits. Played 13 years. No speed. Only had 13 stolen bases. But drove in some runs a couple different years and was just really a really good utility guy. A guy that, as a second baseman or a first baseman you'd like on your team. So yeah, we'll take him there for now. As a utility guy. Possible DH, but we'll see.
I'll be remiss if I not take this guy to be my reserve outfielder, Austin Jackson.
Played in Chicago too.
I just remember him saving the Armando Galarraga imperfect game that wasn't a perfect game, but also was definitely a perfect game. But yeah, Austin Jackson had a really, really solid career with the Yankees and the Tigers and the White Sox and I think the Rays even for a minute there. So 273 career hit, 65 homers, 381 RBIs, 114 stolen bases, 1,150 hits, and over a 22 WAR. Very athletic defender.
Yeah, he was good. I liked him in the outfield. I didn't love him at the
Yeah, he
plate
wasn't great as a
sometimes,
hitter.
but
I didn't. Yeah,
yeah, but he had really good moments.
I just he was the guy that had to replace Curtis Granderson, and I felt like those were big shoes to fill.
Sure. Um. Hmm. Um. Give me Chase Headley, third base. 25.9 WAR, won a Gold Glove, won a Silver Slugger, 1,300 hits, 130 homers, hit 263. Stopped playing in 2018, only played 12 years, which is, that's still a pretty good career. 2012 was a really good year. He drove in 115 for the Padres. Kind of an outlier, so I don't know. Never know on those.
Yeah, I was really when he did that. His career I felt was about to take off, but
Hit 31 home runs that year as well. I don't know. I look at weird outliers like that, and I think something weird's going on. But he was a pretty good average hitter his whole career. So
still a 26 WAR. Yeah, it's yeah.
Yeah, you never know. Something he could have just put it all together for a season. The league didn't adjust to him, I guess yet. And injuries can always happen as well and kind of derail things. So overall, pretty solid third baseman. Even had a couple good years with the Yankees later in his career. Really valuable guy at third. So good defender too.
Give me another former Tiger. I'm gonna take Matt Joyce.
Okay. Yep.
242 career hitter, 150 homers, 500 RBIs, 35 stolen bases, 900 hits, an all-star game, and just shy of a 15 WAR. You still have, at least positionally, you have, you do your reserve, one of your reserve positions. You still have a DH, though, as a starter. And you can move that around however you see fit. But
yeah, I don't know.
It is crazy that both of us have only taken one pitcher combined so far.
I know. I'm looking at the relievers, and I don't love a whole lot of them. There's a couple guys
at this point, I felt like I could just wait.
There's some good arms, and there's one that kind of stands out a little bit, but it's like, man, I don't. There's a former Michigan quarterback in the starting pitchers as well.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
It's
lefty. Got a lefty out there. Got Clayton Richard. He might not get taken, but that's okay.
Yeah, he's a little. Where do I got to see where I put him at 54.
I might take him as a flyer. He pitched for the White Sox for a minute, and I liked him. Okay. I will take. Let me look at one more guy here just to compare. Look at these stats real quick. I'll take Colby Rasmus. 20.2 WAR, just under 900 hits, 166 homers, hit 241. Only played 10 years, so not terrible for 10 years. Had a little bit of pop from the left side of the plate. Generally just an outfielder. Didn't play deep into his life either. Only played till he was 31. Struck out a lot. Wasn't a huge average guy, but provided some pop. Was really pretty good with the Rays in 2017. Had some decent years with Houston and good years in Toronto there. So we'll take him as a reserve outfielder. Possible DH. I could move him to DH and put Pierce. Probably actually pencil him in as DH for now.
Okay.
And change Pierce. Or I could. What I may end up doing is moving Jay Bruce to DH and putting Rasmus in the outfield, and then putting Gonzalez at first base.
That's nice. All right, I'll mess with that. All right.
That's why you got Marwin Gonzalez. He plays every position.
Every position. Doggone it.
I'm just trying to get the best bats in the game. You know what I mean?
So as of now, I've got Brantley, Ellisbury, and Gardner as your outfield.
Yes. So now put Rasmus as a reserve outfielder, put Jay Bruce as a DH, and then put Gonzalez at first and put Pierce at second. And Gonzalez might be the worst bat in the lineup right now at first base, but that's okay. Well,
Is there to play everything.
Right, but what I could do is I could take Gonzalez out. I lied. Take Gonzalez out. He's the reserve. Put Jay Bruce at first, and then put Rasmus at DH. That's what I'm gonna do. I'll toy with it later, but I think that seems right.
That's a good idea. That
seems right. More left-handed bats, a little more power.
So you have Rasmus at DH then again?
Mm-hmm. Rasmus at DH, Bruce at first, Gonzalez as the reserve guy, wherever that ends up.
Okay, yeah. So I have Rasmus DH, Carlos Santana catching, Jay Bruce first, Steve Pierce second, Chase Headley third, Tulowitzki short,
yep. Gardner,
Ellisbury, Brantley outfield, and Marwin Gonzalez is utility.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Cool.
I like that.
Nice.
Cold on the mound as of now.
And then I'm going to take my mound guy. I'm going to make that Matt Garza.
Draft Chris Volstad.
290 games pitched, so only 6 games out of the bullpen, 284 of them started, 93 career wins. He had a save in those 6 bullpen games. A 4.09 ERA, just shy of 1,400 strikeouts and 12.5 WAR.
Give me Sergio Romo.
Thought about taking him even before a starter.
It was a consideration, but you can't really do that.
Yeah.
10 WAR, 42 and 36, 3.21 ERA. Had a terrible 2022, but that's okay because he's like 40 years old now. Was really good for the Giants for a while there, and had some good seasons there. One in Miami, Minnesota, he was all right for a year. The Rays, he was really good in 2017. So, racked up some saves early in his career as well. He has 137 saves at 38. His All-Star year in 2013 with the Giants. ERA has always been low. Won 3 World Series. He's kind of a little guy. Throws a lot of sliders.
All right. Take my lefty pitcher here. I'm going to take Jaime Garcia. Kind of thought about him between him and Matt Garza in the first place. But yeah, 218 games pitched, 188 started, 70 and 62 with a 3.85 ERA, 925 strikeouts, and a 10.7 WAR.
Okay. Give me Craig Stammen. 10 WAR, 55 and 44, 3.66 career ERA. Another guy that wasn't great in 2022 for the Padres, but not terrible. Pitching 33 games this year, but not really a closer. Only has 6 saves in his career, but really good relief guy. ERA and the mid 3s is solid. Had a really good season for the Padres in 2018. He was 8-3 with a 2.73. And pitched 79 innings out of the pen that year. He's been a guy that can eat innings. He was starter early in his career with the Nationals too. So definitely a versatile guy.
It's a good pick. I'm going to take Marco Estrada. 283 games pitched, 194 of them started. He went 62 and 68 with a 4.29 ERA, 1,100 career strikeouts. He had an All-Star game and a 12+ WAR.
Okay. Take Luis Avilan. Lefty. 4.5 WAR, 23 and 11, a 3.43 ERA. Only pitched 10 years. Was pretty solid, especially early on with Atlanta. Some good years in the middle there with the Dodgers. Pretty decent year with the White Sox and the little bit that he pitched for them. Actually, he pitched 58 games in 2018. ERA, another guy in the mid 3s. Was kind of a situational lefty, before that became extinct when you had to pitch to 3 guys, which is the best rule they've implemented, in my opinion, in a while. But was good in that role. Could always get left-handers out. So
we're going to keep up with the run on pitchers here. It seems we've got 7 now in a row. I'm going to take Neftali Feliz.
Okay.
It's 362 games pitched, 7 started, 21-20 with 107 saves, 3.55 ERA, 366 strikeouts with a Rookie of the Year award. He had an All-Star game and a 7.5 WAR.
Yeah, he was good for a minute. I thought he was going to be really good, and then I don't know what happened. Actually, in fact, I'm pretty sure Texas had a run of those guys. They had like Feliz,
Strop, Agondo.
Yeah, Agondo is the big one that I remember too. I'll take a backup catcher. I'll take Tyler Flowers.
I think they also had Joaquim Soria too, right?
I think they did for a minute. He ended up having an okay career.
Yeah.
He was what we call my grandfather's killer, though. He had a heart attack when he watched Soria blow a save. So it's his fault.
Hey, we got to deal with that too as Tigers fans. So
yeah, it's his fault. He blew a save. So 8.1 WAR, over 500 hits, or just under 600 hits for Tyler Flowers. 86 homers, 237 hitter. Had some good years with Atlanta there, and a couple decent years with the White Sox as their catcher. 15 home runs in 2014 was pretty good. Kind of a platoon catcher later in his career, but overall decent career for him. If he's my backup catcher, that's fine.
At this point, I just got to take the scraps as catchers.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, because I think you got the two. I think you got the two best here, in my opinion.
Yep.
There might be yeah, you're probably right. Okay, I'm going to take Michael Pineda. Next, 180 games started, 64-61, 4.06 ERA. Just shy of 1,000 career strikeouts with an All-Star game, 12.5 WAR. I think he's remembered most for the sticky on his hands.
Yeah. Yep.
That was when he was a Mariner, I think.
Yep, that was cheating.
Yep.
If anybody wants
Can't do that. Can't do that.
Legal. Man. I don't know. I don't love these pitchers. I feel like I've taken the guys that I kind of was okay with, and now I don't, Take Ricky Romero.
Yep.
Left-hander.
He was my next pitcher, though.
Yeah, 9.9 WAR, 51-45, 4.16 ERA. Only pitched 5 seasons, but he was nasty early in his career. 2011, he was an All-Star. Had a 2.92 ERA and then just imploded after 2011. I think he got hurt, and then I don't really know what happened.
Then he got the yips.
Yeah, something. Yeah, he stunk after that. Yeah, 105 walks the year after, led the league by far when he was close. He was always wild, and he led the league in wild pitches in 2010, but it inflated like crazy in 2012. And by 2013, you just couldn't even pitch anymore. So, but yeah, we'll take him and hope you get 2011 Ricky Romero.
Yep. I'm going to take a bullpen arm of Jose Alvarez here. 447 games pitched, 8 started, 22-25 with 4 saves, sub 3.5 ERA, 360 strikeouts with a 4.6 WAR.
Okay. Oh, let's see. Where's that? I mean, why not? I'll take Clayton Richard.
There you go.
Why not? Mostly because he can duel as a starter and a reliever because he had some bunch of starts early. Most of the good chunk of his career, probably the whole first half of his career was as a starter, and then he started coming out of the bullpen later in his career. Came up with the White Sox. I thought he always had promise. And he had a couple of really good years with the Padres. The Padres kind of figured him out there. But then kind of struggled later in his career as he got older. Was a former Michigan quarterback as well, which is kind of cool. I remember watching him in the spring game and in mop-up duty for Chad Henne a couple times. Big, tall left-hander, 6'5", 240. 1.2 WAR, 69-84 with 4.5 ERA. But I like the versatility, being able to come out of the bullpen or
He
start.
might have been the third tallest Michigan QB that I can remember in the last 20 years. I mean, Michael Sessa and probably David Cohn.
David Cohn was tall.
Michael Sessa was
6'5".
6'9", I think.
Joe Milton 6'5". He's up there.
Oh, yeah.
Wilton Spate was pretty tall. He was like 6'4". Ryan Mallett was 6'7".
Oh, that's right, man. Okay.
He barely played.
I think Michael Sessa is still the tallest because he was 6'9".
Let's see. I'm real quick just for giggles here. I'm looking up Clayton Richard 2004 Michigan football roster. He was number 10. Stats. He was 2 attempts for in his career in 2004, 5 games played. Hold on, which is nice. He played in 5 games. That was a good 2004 team though. 15 attempts, 8 completions, 52 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, long of 18. So didn't really make a bunch of, wasn't great on the old quarterbacking thing, but he was their second or third. He was their second string for a good chunk of that season. So not bad. Good athlete.
Who is this next? Oh my goodness. Horrendous. I am stuck with these catchers. Okay.
Yeah, none of them are good.
I mean, it was probably wise to move Carlos Santana in the catcher because it's a huge drop from that.
Yeah.
Might as well just grab my other pitcher here than while I get and go back to back on catchers. Who am I feeling here? No, I really there's
I don't
a
like any
couple
of the pitchers anymore either. Really.
Well, one was good, but he only pitched in like 100 games as a reliever, and I was like, oh man. But he was a 2.75 ERA in those 100 games.
Mm-hmm.
So I was tempted, but who's this other bullpen guy? 1 second. All right, so I'm gonna go with yeah, this is tough. I think I'm gonna go with just because he had more games, larger sample size. Ryan Buchter.
Yeah.
285 games pitched, 17-6. That's a nice winning percentage.
It is.
2 saves, a 3.16 ERA, 260 strikeouts, and a 4 WAR.
All right, I will go with Jeremy Hellickson. Rookie of the year and won a Gold Glove. 11.3 WAR, 76 and 75, a 4.13 ERA. I just remember him being just extremely okay.
Yeah, with the Rays,
which is like, all right, yeah. Sometimes he gets you, and sometimes he doesn't. He had a good stretch. His first 3 seasons with the Rays were really good. 2010, he was 4-0, 3.47 ERA, only started 4 games. But 2011, he won the Rookie of the Year, 13-10, 2.95 ERA. Started 29 games. He had a shutout, a couple complete games. And then in 2012, he was 10-11 with a 3.10 ERA. The record, he was on some bad Rays teams too. But, overall, a pretty good pitcher. I would say he was pretty good. But could never really go to great. Just pretty solid, like a maybe at best a number 3 starter in a rotation. Typically,
if you use the back end of your rotation, you're happy with that,
right? You'd be happy. You get 12, 13 wins in the back end. You're doing something right. So he was good, and he was very good his rookie year. So
I'm gonna go back to back catchers. So I'm going to go with Manny Pena as my starter. 243 hitter, 42 homers, 150 RBIs, 4 stolen bases, 271 hits, and a 6.5 WAR.
Okay.
You just have to get a reserve outfielder, and if you want another arm or a hitter, then you can choose on that. So just 2 more picks for you.
Why did I just lose the entire list? I just had it pulled up. Um, one second. I'm gonna find it. That's weird. Well then.
Should I read off some of my next availables?
Yeah, I need an outfielder, right?
Yeah, you can. I have, unfortunately, the next outfielder I have ranked is Cameron Maben.
I'll take
Okay.
Maben as a reserve outfielder.
Okay.
He's not playing. He might pinch run. He can run.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. So I actually ranked Maven at 36, and you just took him at 37. So
Yeah, he actually really wasn't all that bad, and he played for 15 years. 13 and a half WAR, 2000, won the World Series in 17. It's under 1,000 hits, 72 homers, hit 254. Had 187 stolen bases, so could run. And was a pretty good outfielder. Just never a great guy at the plate, especially later in his career. I mean, just didn't love him as a player, but athletic and a guy that he made a few different stops in Detroit and had some moments, I guess, but he was never great. He was just very average for the most part. But I know some teams really liked him because he was athletic and he could run.
Was he in the Miguel Cabrera Willis trade? I think he was the big piece.
I believe he was the big piece, yeah.
With Burke Badenhop, who's also in this class.
He is in that class, yep.
Let's see here. And I got to do my last pick here. Reserve catcher, I'm going to take, considering Teagarden and Butera are just terrible, I am going to take the only other one that's not terrible, but not good, Nick Hundley.
Okay.
247 hitter, 93 homers, 376 RBIs, 15 stolen bases, 766 hits, and a 7.5 WAR. He may end up starting over Pena. I have to decide.
Okay. What else did I need?
So you can go with any hitter or pitcher. My next, next pitcher available for me is I've got Pelfrey, I've got Jon Niese, and I've got Kirby Yates and Joey Devine.
Okay.
His next hitters, I got an all or nothing hitter. If you want Chris Carter, that dude whacked, but he also just not a great bat. I think he was a 217 hitter, but he had 158 home runs.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna take Chris Carter mostly because I'll pinch hit and he can run into something sometime. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember him, and it's like, man, this guy just swings really hard.
I mean, 158 home runs and 536 hits. Just that percentage alone being close to
hit 217. So he had 41 home runs for Milwaukee in 2016, and he hit that year 222.
I was gonna say his career head.
He led the league in strikeouts twice. He had 206 that year, and 212 in 2013 with Houston.
And the right pitching matchup in Yankee Stadium, you never know what happens.
You never know. And in Houston, I mean, that year in Houston, he hit 29 home runs. The year after that in Houston, he hit 37. So he just hit a lot of home runs and struck out if he didn't hit a home run, pretty much.
Yep.
So
that was our 40. Like I said, the best available I had was who I put at 31, and that's Mike Pelfrey.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, Jon Niese, Kirby Yates, Joey Devine. Devine, yeah. And then I have Logan Morrison up there at 39. Luis Valbuena
at times, yeah.
I have Valbuena at 41.
Mm-hmm.
Then Yuniesky Betancourt, and then Burke Badenhop, David Hernandez, Will Venable, Cliff Pennington, and then Wily Peralta.
Will Venable went to Princeton. He was a smart guy.
Last place, like I said, Taylor Teagarden and Drew Butera were on my last place list of the 67 players that I have in this class. So
yeah, they were bad. Taylor Teagarden was horrendous. I mean, of that, I mean, I guess he was a Major League Baseball player, but other than that, he was bad.